Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing awesome. I am doing pretty well myself. Thank you guys for asking. I just wanted to make a quick little video today. I was going to talk about some of the stuff from T.Harv that I've been really, it's just been really resonating with me. A lot of good quotes. So I just wanted to kind of do a little quick run through with some of the things that he says that I just like. It just kind of hits you like, damn, like it's so simple, it's so much common sense, but it's fucking true as fuck. So for example, like the more I listen to him, I'm realizing the more I'm starting to talk like him. So one of the things he always says is, whenever people are saying, they feel, there's a lot of know-it-alls. So a lot of people think, well, my way's right, or I'm not going to change my ways because this is how I do things, and, this and that. And one of the things that he always rebuttals with is, well, how is that working out for you so far? And that shit is just such a fucking eye-opener within itself. Because, there's so many people who think that what they're doing is the only way or it's the right way. But then think about it. I mean, how many people are actually really, truly happy with their life or really, really, really rich? Okay? I mean, I don't know if you know too many people like that. I don't, which is exactly why I go through these programs and I read the books from people who actually are and who actually have achieved those things, because nobody in my family has. My friends, yeah, we're happy, don't get me wrong, we are grateful, we're happy in certain areas, but to really truly be fulfilled, I mean, because there's a lot of times where we have things that we're achieving, we're reaching our goals, but then you keep wanting more and more and more, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying to not increase your goals. I mean, we always want to increase our goals, but sometimes you feel as though, okay, well, I thought buying this brand new car was going to make me happy, but now I'm really not happy. Now I want a bigger car. Or, I thought having a house was going to make me happy, but, it's too small now and I want a bigger house. Like sometimes there's, we tend to want to keep on trying to fill this void. So we keep on going for the next and the next and the next thing. So it's a little different from having goals, because of course you want goals, but you also want to have a fulfilling life. So in all areas. So that's kind of what my total life makeover coaching program that I'm doing is really showing me and teaching me. Because for example, like with service and contribution, I mean, that's an area that you should focus on, is giving, giving to the community, giving in any way you can, giving to somebody that you come across that you realize is really in need. Whether it's just your time, it doesn't have to be money, it can be just, your time. But health is important. Sometimes people just, maybe they got a lot of material things and maybe they're making pretty good money, but they don't have time for their health. And that's obviously very important, because we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be an example for our children so that they understand the importance of taking care of themselves and being healthy as well. So just in every area with your relationships. I mean, sometimes you get these people who are just workaholics and they work. Believe me, I used to fucking do that shit all the time. Like, I was instilled by my dad, like, you gotta work. If you're not working, you're not making money. And again, that's just the middle class broke mentality. Is I have to keep exchanging my time for a certain dollar amount, and that's not how it should be. So I'm learning different ways. So I love when Harv will just kind of put you on blast and really give you a fucking eye-opener, because he's like, okay, well, how is that working for you so far? And you're like, oh shit, well, not so good, because I got hella debt, or I got this and that. So obviously what I'm doing isn't working so far. So that's like probably one of my favorite things that he says. And I notice like I'm talking more like him the more I listen to him, because I'm learning from him. I'm using this program as a form of his mentorship for me. So because everything he says is just fucking on point, and I fucking love it. So one of the other things that he also talks about is he says that we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So think about it. I mean, you see a lot of people who are always complaining, but they'll just make comments like, oh, it's not like it used to be. I mean, that's like when you always hear, things aren't like they used to be anymore. Things aren't like they used to be anymore. Because back then it was, a certain way, and now it's just not like it used to be anymore. It's difficult, it's hard, it's tough, it's, there's so much, bad in the world. There's so much this and that. And it's like, okay, you're viewing the world that way because that's all your fears. You're projecting all your fears and all your negativity out there. So that's not to say how the world is, because guess what? Maybe to somebody else, the world is a beautiful place. The world is amazing. There's so much opportunity. I mean, I love technology. I fucking love it. I mean, I have friends who are like, oh, Facebook is so this, and that's why I hate Facebook, that's why I hate social media. Fuck that. I fucking love social media, because you know why? It's a way for us to communicate. Yeah, if you're a certain person, I mean, basically what it's going to do, it's going to reflect who you are. So it's just like another one of Harv's quotes. He says that money basically is just going to bring out more of who you already are. So some people think, like, oh, well, if you have money, you're going to be greedy, you're going to be rude, you're going to be, snobby, you're going to be all this. Money is just going to make you more of who you are. If you're already a fucking asshole, then yeah, having more money is going to make you a bigger asshole. But if you are a kind person and you're giving and you're loving and you're always trying to help others, well, guess what? Having money is going to give you that ability to help more people, okay? And that's the whole point of it, is to want to create that wealth so that you can bring out the best in you, because it's going to give you more opportunity. And then, a lot of times people are so negative and, oh, well, money doesn't bring happiness. It's not about bringing happiness. It's about what it can do. Because guess what? If you have a family member or relative and something happens, unfortunately, let's say, God forbid, a medical condition or something, and they can't pay for medical bills, well, if you were financially well off, wouldn't it be great for you to have that, like, to be able to step up and say, you know what? Here, money's not a problem. Let's take them to the best hospital, the best doctors, the best surgeons, whatever that case may be. I mean, that would feel great, right? That you're able to do that. You don't want to be in a position where now you're having to put a GoFundMe, you're stressing out, you have no money for this and that, and all your bills, and you're in a stressful situation. So that's what he always talks about, and I like when he says that, because it's so true. Because I have a lot of friends who are just like, oh, well, rich people, they don't need that. They can afford to, not have that, and they're just silver spoon fed, and this is not. It's like, no, that is not accurate. That's how you view the world. So you see the world that way because that is a reflection of you. So, we want to make sure that we're being positive, see the world in a beautiful way. Of course, there's going to be bad things that are always going to happen, but don't let it get you down. It's okay to get frustrated. I mean, it's normal. It's completely normal. That's what our brains basically are, survival mode. Our brains are a complete survival mode, protection, and that's why we're always have, our fear up, because it's like, oh, don't do that, because that's, trouble, alert, red flag, danger ahead. So that's just our natural, brain mechanism. That's just how it is. I mean, that's just basically from back in caveman days, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, the brain is set for survival. It's not meant for happiness. It's not meant for success, financial freedom. But we're going to teach ourselves that, and you got to look for the resources so that you can gain that knowledge, so that you can learn how to rearrange the way you think about things. So I always think about that whenever he, when he says stuff like that, because it's really true. It's like, okay, why do I feel this way? What is that saying about me? Okay, my belief is my belief. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It's exactly what T. Harv says all the time. My belief is my belief. It's coming from my experience. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it true. It doesn't make it false. It's just basically coming from, your own experience. But if, like he says, how is that working for you so far? If you're not in a position where you're, stress-free, you're debt-free, and you're really, really happy, and you're making a lot of money, then guess what? Maybe there's some things you need to change. But if you are happy with where you are, and you're satisfied, you're content, and that's great too. It's not to say that you have to be wealthy or you have to think a certain way. It's, if you're happy with that, then that's fine. But if you're not, and maybe your relationships aren't good, or you're constantly not finding your perfect mate, you're in and out of relationships, you don't know what to do, or even with career, maybe you're in and out of careers, you don't really know what you love to do, you can't find job stability. I mean, then that means that there's something with the way you're thinking, and that means it needs to be changed. So being open-minded to the change. So those are just a few things that I just kind of wanted to bring to your attention, as far as some quotes that really resonate with me, and maybe they'll make sense to you. So again, he just always says, how is that working out for you so far? So when people, or you might think, oh, I have a certain way of doing things, and this is how it is, or this is just how I am, that this is what I do, and this is me, and me, I'm this, and that, and whatever the case may be. Well, yeah, but how is it working out for you so far? I mean, are you completely happy in your life? If not, well, then it's probably not working out so great for you. So it's time to make some changes. And then, like when he talks about where he says, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So again, it's a reflection of you when you're projecting either your fears, or you're projecting, your happiness, whatever you're projecting. That's not a reflection of the reality of the world. It's just of who you are and how you see it. and you can definitely change it. I mean, I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to be watching the news 24/7 being like, oh, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of that, you know, buying into all this negative fucking Facebook posts and shit. Like, I'm not gonna fall into that shit. Guess what? Because I create my own fucking destiny. I don't give a fuck about, you know, what everyone else is doing. Don't get me wrong, I want to be into the position where I can help others. So when things like that do happen, that I can, you know, definitely be, you know, someone that can make that change and that difference. So that's why I hate when people focus on complaining so much. Okay, you're complaining, but what are you actually doing to make a change? I understand that there's things that are going to happen, you know, the neo-Nazis and all that crazy shit in the world. I get it. But guess what? What are you doing to make that change? You know, you can sit here and vent and complain, but what is that really doing? It's doing nothing. But guess what? If you actually, you know, make a difference and, you know, whether you're building wealth so that you can actually do something about it, because now, like, hey, if I have the money, I can have the money to go throw on some other campaign and raise awareness for a positive, you know, program or, you know, community or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's just different ways to look at it. Of course, those things are going to happen and they're beyond our control, and it's sad, and, you know, I hate hearing about all that negative stuff, but you got to make sure that you see the good. Because, okay, yes, there's this horrible neo-Nazi group, but guess what? That's not the whole world. There's a whole world of great people out there. There really is. So we have to look at the good and focus on that and how we can continue to be a positive influence and help others so that we can help get into, you know, a better circumstance for ourselves, for our family, for our future generations, instead of just focusing on the complaining and the complaining, but yet you're not doing anything. All you're doing is complaining more and just bringing more hatred and just hate on hate. So just basically, you know, I see a lot of those posts on Facebook and this and white supremacists and white privilege. You know what? That's fine, and maybe that is a reality in your world, but for me, I don't see that. I don't see you as white privilege, because guess what? Like, I'm Mexican American, and I feel as I have every fucking opportunity as any fucking white person. Yeah, I'm a female, but I'm not gonna let that sit there and hinder me and stop me from doing shit. Guess what? Because I create my own fucking destiny. So yeah, maybe there are, of course, some little, you know, facts as yes, there are statistics on this and that, but guess what? I'm not gonna see that shit. I'm not gonna let that shit overcloud what I know I'm capable of. So that's just how I like to view things. You know, I don't want to sit here and play a victim or give myself any more obstacles that aren't really there, because, you know, all those obstacles that you bring up, they're not really there. They're just in here. Yeah, there's statistics on this and that, but guess what? You don't need to believe it. Don't believe that story. Make your own fucking story. But thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys have a great day. And remember, go spread a little kindness, okay? Because the world needs a lot of it.